What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I've got a really great one for you. Robinhood Investing has recently announced a brand new feature called IPO Access. Now, in the past, Robinhood's got a lot of heat. They've been under a lot of pressure to keep their customers front of mind. And I think this is a feature that may drive in a lot of new investors to the Robinhood Investing platform. So if you guys have no idea what IPO Access is, I'm going to be covering all those questions you may have regarding it in this video with all of the information we have today. So there's not a ton out there right now that we know, but I'm going to be giving you all those details that we already do. So what is an IPO? How does it work? Well, IPO stands for Initial Public Offering. And essentially the process is that there is an IPO price, an initial price that is set before the trading commences for these companies that are entering the stock market. And a lot of times we see that these institutional investors, these very large investment banks, these firms get access to the shares well before the general public does. And so by the time you and I may be able to invest in it, the price is entirely different than what the IPO actually is set at. And that could be a good thing if the price were to drop significantly, or it could be a bad thing if the price is to skyrocket and you miss out on some potential gains. So what is IPO Access and how does Robinhood come into play here? IPO Access is going to allow you to buy the shares at the actual IPO price. Now, again, this is a problem that we see a lot of times when there's brand new IPOs coming to the market. You can't actually access the shares at a decent price. And so you might be wondering, well, okay, how does Robinhood actually provide these shares to its investors? How is it different than other organizations in that manner? So what Robinhood Investing does is they partner with investment banks and they help distribute the IPO shares to the public. So because they're partnered with these banks, they get an allotted set of shares that they're able to actually sell and shell off to their customers. So they don't work with the issuing company, so to speak, but instead they're working directly with those investment banks that are then allocating shares to them. And then they're going to give their customers the chance to buy the shares that they receive. And so you may be wondering, okay, that's awesome. How do I get access to it? Well, right now, IPO Access is only available to certain customers that are selected entirely randomly, and it ensures that the rollout is as fair and as unbiased as possible. So I myself right now, I don't even think that I have access to it. I was checking out the Robinhood app not too long ago. I was looking at the features within. I saw a little section for it, but again, I don't think that I have full access to it yet, and we'll jump into it in a few moments here. And so when you actually do get access to it, you're going to be sent an email that's notifying you, hey, you have access to IPO shares, IPO process from Robinhood Investing. And so once you get access to this feature, you may be wondering, okay, how do I start investing in some of these IPOs? How do I get on the wait list to buy some of these shares? It's an easy 7-step process that Robinhood has created. Number one, you're going to find the IPO that interests you. Next, there's going to be a section that allows you to tap confirm eligibility. And then after you review the checklist and confirm your eligibility for it, then you're going to tap request shares button. Now you can enter the details of your request. You can enter as many shares, I believe, as you want to receive once the IPO is going to be released. But again, you're not going to be guaranteed the shares that you enter here. It's completely random to be unbiased for those users. You're going to review, you're going to click on the review button as you normally would when you're buying stocks, and then you're going to swipe up all the same, just like you were to submit a request for purchasing a new stock. Only this time you're just requesting new shares. Now, one thing to note is that you can only request shares after the underwriter sets the initial price range. So you can edit, cancel, or request your shares until the end of the confirmation period and after final pricing is set. So you may be wondering, okay, how many shares can I get of each company that I'm interested in? Well, it's actually limited based on demand. So obviously, if you have a high demand IPO, you're going to have less shares available to those interested parties, and it's going to be harder to provide those shares to everybody. So they haven't really set numbers on any of this stuff. It's all kind of just theoretical situations. But obviously, when you have something like Coinbase, which is a hugely demanded IPO, I'm sure that there would have been a little bit less access to the IPO price. Now, again, Coinbase's IPO was a bit of a flop, but there's a lot of room to grow for them in the future. And again, they're just not guaranteed. So just because you get access to Robinhood's new IPO access feature, it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get these stocks. Now, above all else, there's one thing you really need to be aware of and concerned with when it comes to buying these IPOs and selling them. So there is something known as flipping. And Robinhood doesn't prevent you from selling the shares that you actually gain through the IPO access program. But if you do choose to sell an IPO share within 30 days of the IPO, it's considered flipping. And you'll be restricted from participating in IPOs for another 60 days. And so you may be wondering why you have to wait that 60-day period if you decide to flip the shares. And basically the issuing companies and underwriters, they just try to avoid IPO stock flipping. The problem with it is that flipping could lead to offer fewer IPOs for Robinhood in the future, so they just want to limit it. Now, arguably the worst thing about flipping is that it could really, inflate these stock prices, and a lot of people could get screwed over. So for example, if a lot of people are interested in just buying the hype around an IPO, driving the price way up, and then ultimately just flipping the shares to other people, essentially screwing them when the price gets so high that it's going to crash, that's where it comes into play. Okay, so real quick, I want to show you guys what this looks like within the Robinhood application. I don't think I have full access, but I can see some of the screens here. If you tap on the search icon in the bottom, right in the middle of your application, it's going to take you to this browse section. Now you can see in the trading list right here, I just dropped my phone, but you can see in the trading list, you have IPO access. Click on IPO access, it's going to take you to this screen right here. Once you're within this screen, this is where you're going to have a list of those IPOs that are announced for trading on Robinhood. So right now you can see there's one item right here. This is Figs. I don't really know much about it or what the company is, but if I click into it, I get this screen right here. Now Figs then shows the public filing. You can look at the prospectus, so you can get a ton of information from this. It's likely you're going to see the financial information. You're going to see what's going on with this listing. And if you scroll way down here, there's just so many pages of information to take in when you're looking to do some research into these. And yeah, down here, you can see some of the financial information. There's a lot that you can take in. And let me go back here. And as I scroll down, you're going to see that the final price is soon to be set. It has not been set quite yet. The IPO is coming soon, and then it's within this related list here. You can see about the company if you just want some general information. This one is a healthcare and apparel and lifestyle brand. A lot of great stuff that you can pull right from this screen. And at the very top, you can see the introduction to IPO access. Get the IPO price and see how it works. If you click into here, you get taken to Robinhood's blog. This is where they just announced this new feature. And then I believe as you keep scrolling down, you can get more information if you go to the help center, and you can just look at the common questions that are asked or some of the information you may have. So at the end of the day, it's a really great feature that I think Robinhood will be able to provide to the user base. I think it's going to entice a lot of investors to start using the platform if they aren't already on it, especially if they're able to do this effectively and people are able to get some decent prices from it. Now, that's pretty much all I have for you in this video here today. If you are interested in this feature or going to take advantage of it, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for checking out this video, guys, and have a great day.
Nice.